Click play and call it work.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sit and Talk. I'm going to read over a bunch of comments left on last week's show, which was Chris talking, and just, answer and give my general views on things. And you can post your comments below for next week for Matthew on this video. Any comments or questions for him, he'll be reading and doing next week's Sit and Talk. I'm going to do this for about 30 minutes or so, and then I'm going to cut it off and go into the vault and answer the remaining questions, usually for about 30 minutes. But let's see, I got about 7 pages. So yeah, this could be a longer one, but I'll try to get through all the questions if I can. So, right away, let's get into the first question or comment here. Bill Drat, Steve, Dave claimed you weighed in a mighty 400 pounds. Have you ever considered a career as a professional wrestler? No. Yeah, I'm 6'5" and about 380 pounds, close enough to 4. But I'm about as graceful as a hippopotamus, and as tough as a 7-year-old girl. So no, I wouldn't last 5 seconds in the ring with anybody. Jedi 22. I wish I had more to that, but no, I'd be terrible. I'd just be terrible. Jedi 22 said, Steve, what one army of fantasy in Age of Sigmar do you dislike? Also, are the Orcs and Goblins going to make an appearance soon? Great work with the content. Before I forget, happy birthday. That birthday thing's never going to go away, is it? Fantasy. I really like... Excuse me, coughed right in the mic. I really like my high elves a lot. I've been playing them forever. Probably more than any other army. Anything else I would even want to play. I kind of want to play Orcs and Goblins. And you say also one of the Orcs and Goblins is going to make their appearance. Okay, so I just had a long bout of coughing that I hope I remember to edit out. That's probably why I look like I'm crying right now. You can see myself on the screen right now. I'm all red now. Oh yeah, and this should be the last time you see the beard, and I actually have my head one more time tonight for the film, but all the beard gets to come off soon because I'm almost done my scenes. What was I talking about? Orcs and Goblins. Yeah, they went to about 3 different painting partner program people. I got one group of the stuff back, and 2 others may have fell through. I'm not exactly aware of everything completely. But it doesn't look like they're coming in anytime soon, so we might have to find other people to paint them, so which could make it months later from now. So hopefully sooner than later. But I have enough for Age of Sigmar for here and now. I have some bone splitters. You'll see them now and then. But I'm looking at doing some Iron Jaws for Age of Sigmar, just because I want to paint them. So when I get everything I already currently own painted, I'm going to pick up some of them and get them painted up. Raven's Wing. Steve, what turned out to just be a gummy bear? War of the Realms, episode 61, we need to know. It wasn't a pimple or a boil, and I just want to leave it at that. It was a gummy bear. The Uninvisible Man won. Steve, if the Iron Warriors never joined Horus, remained loyal, and complied with the Codex Astartes, what do you think their chapter tactics might be? Well, if they were all about taking down buildings and, breaking sieges or just sieging places, and then Imperial Fists were the opposite, and then in 10,000 years later they switched, they'd be something very defensive. So probably maybe reroll ones of cover saves while they're on their own deployment zone, something like that. Something very simple. But I feel that they'd probably just be Imperial Fists. Yeah, I think there's 2 similar to Imperial Fists, but you never know. They could, in 10,000 years of history of being a loyalist instead of chaos, they could have turned out to be all assaulty or a big bike riding army for whatever reason, or just love their dreadnoughts. So you never know. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool to think about what if they did. I like reading about the Dornian heresy. If you haven't had a chance to read on that, just Google it. It's actually pretty funny, interesting possibility how the Horus heresy could have turned out, or the Dornian heresy could have been. Also, does MiniWarGaming plan to create a Deathwatch force for the new codex? Yeah, so I already painted up some Deathwatch for the studio that you saw in the review video last weekend when I'm posting this video. And I know Lee right now is literally right now as I'm talking, unpacking a bunch of stuff that they ordered because the studio is doing a Deathwatch army, as is Josh. But Josh will probably going to be using the studio stuff because it'll be get done faster because Lee's just fast and Matt likes to buy. Cogs Row. Oh, that's for Chris. I'm going to read it too. At Chris. Have the police brought you to the station yet for being so handsome and causing your co-workers mental trauma from you being too damned man pretty? I'm letting you know, I'm going to answer this before Chris. That has not happened. Yet. Or keep it. No, that's another quick question. I should probably read these before I end. Orky Benji just have one for me though. Steve, what are UFOs? Okay, so I only have an hour for this show, half an hour here on YouTube, half an hour in the vault. So it's probably best if I stay away from this topic altogether. I just want to keep the show Warhammer related or miniature wargaming related in one way or another. So I just don't have the 7 to 8 hours it would take me to go through all this with you right now. But I do have a newsletter, which I really shouldn't be promoting here. You should, if you do enough time searching on Google, you can find out all about me and that stuff. But yeah, just Google it. Lowcammer at Steve. Hi, what is your opinion of the Dark Elves and Age of Sigmar? There isn't a lot of people that play them, but I think they're really... I'm just kidding about the other stuff, by the way. I had no idea about the UFOs. If somebody just paused the video, went and go search it, there's nothing. There's nothing. Opinion on Dark Elves, where I go. There's a lot of people that play them, but I think they're pretty cool and fun to play. Would you ever consider playing them? Yeah, I'd love to play actually everything. I would love a Dark Elf army for fantasy. But Luca has one now, so you'll definitely actually will see them in Age of Sigmar now that Luca has a Dark Elf army. He's relatively local and comes in quite often. But yeah, they're really cool. The Hydras are amazing for Age of Sigmar. And Dark Elves have some of the nicest models that were ever produced for fantasy. In my opinion, I really love them. So yeah, you'll definitely see them, and I do like them. Alarn. Steve, how will you build your list in Age of Sigmar when it comes to allegiances? For example, will you use models from Stormcast Eternals, or you mix Stormcast with Fireslayers and Seraphon? Right now, unless things change, we're kind of doing 1,000 point games. Just because the length it takes to film it, and do 2 a day, that doesn't sound like a lot of time, but literally it takes us a full 8-hour day to film 2 1,000 point games. So at 1,000 points, to me, it just makes sense to stay a single allegiance. Like if I want to do Seraphon, just Seraphon, not mixing them in. But I know there are some really wacky and pretty cool combinations you can do by mixing up the factions. So yeah, in bigger games or Triumph and Treacheries, you'll see it. But in the short term, myself, I can't speak for everybody else, myself will probably limit to 1 faction. Now, I say that in my next game, I might decide to bring 3 Bretonnian Knights and 2 High Elves and a Dwarf for whatever reason, but I generally like to stick within some sort of structure or keyword. When playing with your High Elves, I guess you almost have to use different allegiances. Yeah, Line Rangers, Eldritch Council. Have we ever seen team up with Dwarves? Yeah, possibly, but yeah, you're right about that. It's harder to stick into the allegiances with my High Elves right now. I tried to do it in a game I did a couple weeks ago where I wanted to go all like Phoenix something or other, but I didn't have enough to have 2 battle line. Unless I had 2 10-man Phoenix Guard units, one has 20 Phoenix Guard, and only 1 command set. And same thing for the Lion Rangers, I only have 1 command set, but I actually have another unpainted one that I can take out of the blister and I guess paint up and I can do them. But they don't have a whole lot. They'll have the Lion Rangers and a couple of characters and a chariot. So High Elves don't really play well to that one thing, but they can all have the elf keyword instead, or elf as some people like to say it. So that'll probably how I play the High Elves when I play them. They're going to stick to that particular keyword, order and elf. Hope my question isn't too confusing. Oh, not at all, dude. Not at all. Koopa Janika, I don't know. MiniWarGamer Steve. Hey Steve, with the new General's Army book out now for Age of Sigmar, I anticipate a lot more coverage on the games. My question is there going to be a narrative-style campaign coming in the future? I think it would be awesome to see Quirk, Josh, Cullen, local volunteers, wink, start up Warband from Path to Glory and carry it over to narrative campaign using map. Yeah, I would absolutely love to do exactly that. I'm not saying no, I'm not saying yes, but I'm saying that I want it probably as much as you do, if not more, and I'm working towards it. If I can make it happen, I will. And nobody here is opposed to it. Like, everybody will do it. It's just a matter of organization and time, because the schedule's pretty full, and to add something we don't already cover kind of has to take out of something else. So we have to, it's harder to make time, but once the summer dies down a little bit, I can put a little more thought into it and see how I can figure it out. But yeah, I do want to do it probably as much as you do, if not more. Oh, you have more. Example, Chaos Warrior going from more... Okay, it's all the same stuff. Yeah, he adds at the end, would you rather have Quirk paint all your models or paint the models yourself, but you have to do it using an airbrush that's always semi-clogged? I love painting my own stuff. I don't want anybody painting my own things. But I'm sure you're all aware of what road rage is. I have airbrush rage. I hate when the airbrush clogs, especially when I'm in the middle. Have you ever... Koopa Janique, I can't say your name. Have you ever been here for Battle Report and seen me yell at the airbrush? Because it sounds like you have. We've met before, please let me know. But yeah, fine, I'll let Quirk paint them. Bob Joy says, Steve, there are orcs in the 40k units but no goblins. Why do you think that is? Yeah, they're grots. You just call them a different name. There's grots in the 40k universe. I would love a gang of biker riding goblins for 40k orcs. Yeah, grots and stick them. Actually, Lee, our painter, has some pretty sweet grot conversions on kind of like bikes, more like unicycles. It just takes extra bike wheels from orcs and or space marines, puts a seat on them and like a control handle or something. They look pretty cool. But yeah, no, they're grots and you can convert them up. Love from Sweden. Hey, Sweden. Depot said, oh, that's for Chris. Fleshcraft. Steve, I was a huge fan of 40k, but my interest in the hobby has decreased. What would you do to get back into 40k? Yeah, I think we've all been there at least once. I've heard many people, you might be in the age bracket of like mid to late teens, because I've heard many people say the exact same story. They get into the hobby when they're like 12 or so. Play around for a couple years. Don't get too deep and involved in it because it's expensive. Leave in your mid to late teens because there's a bunch of other stuff going on in your teenage years. And they usually come back and do it by your mid 20s. And you just tend to stick around forever. I've heard that's my story. I've heard so many other people say the same thing. But I mean, if that's not it, you'll get back to it when you're ready to, when it fits in your life. And if it doesn't, then don't do it. Like, it's supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to be fun and relaxing. So it'll work its way back in or it won't. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Don't you'll have a different hobby or pastime. But just don't. I wouldn't worry about it because, like I said, it will or it won't, and it shouldn't matter if it doesn't. Where did I leave off? Lord Commander Willard Stave. Extra vowel in there. A few questions. Where are your Ashen Circle and Iron Circle for your 30k Iron Warriors? Ashen Circle are word bearers, so they wouldn't be from Iron Warriors, unless there's something I don't know. There's some sort of weird allegiance with the Iron Warriors, but no, I'm not aware of anything there. And the Iron Circle for your 30k? I have made I think I talked about last time, my last Sin Talk, I made a pact with myself not to buy anything until everything I own is painted. And I've done such a good job of getting stuff painted and not buying anything. That's how I got my Dark Angels done. So yeah, I'm sticking to it. I'm not buying any Iron Circle until everything I own is painted. And I do have quite a bit of Raven Guard that are sitting on my shelf as well. So that army will probably be playable before I add Iron Circle. But what I do know I want to add to my Iron Warriors for sure, what I can't not buy, at least 2 Iron Circle, Demos Command Tank. I need Rhinos. I need Assault Claws. There's still a number of like my Iron Warriors aren't even close to done. Yeah, they definitely will see. Iron Circle will be one of the first things I buy. But not until everything else I own is done and painted. It just makes sense. I mean, we've all made that deal or pact with ourselves one time or another. but rarely do we follow through with it, and I'm doing a good job following through. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna stick to it. Why have you kind of stopped gaming with the Mountain? Well, all the shows got kind of combined under one name. MiniWarGaming's Warhammer 40k battle reports. For reasons I'm not quite sure of, but I mean, it probably just makes more sense for the company as a whole to do it that way. But that's why I'm still doing 40k battle reports as often as I was before. There's no difference there. They're just under a different name, so maybe it's harder to search for me directly. But you can just search my name, you'll see my battle reports. Which Legion does MiniWarGaming not have a player for? And do you think we'll see more 30k coming soon? Good luck at Valhalla. Yeah, you'll see lots of 30k coming soon. A lot of us are filming a lot of 30k quite regularly. We had this week alone, we filmed, I think, 5 or 6 games. Maybe more, maybe 6. Yeah, well, either way, we filmed a lot, and you'll see a lot more of it coming up. Which Legions aren't represented? I can go over what. I don't think I think of it. Okay, so there are legions that are floating around the office that you're not going to see on the table in the near future. I guess people haven't gotten to them, but I mean, Lee and Gwyn have both started Blood Angels. Josh, Imperial Fists. We have Word Bearers now. There's a local not too far from here who's working on Thousand Suns. Cullen is working on Death Guard. I got Raven Guard, and I started working on something else as well, but I have no intention of getting into a playable army anytime soon. I did do a little bit of World Eater stuff, just as I wanted to paint some white stuff. But yeah, you won't see them on the table anytime soon. I can't think of what's missing. So Space Wolves are missing. Rob was working on Iron Hands. Rob, our editor. Who's left? I almost feel like everything's covered. Here, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pull up my phone, which I didn't have in this room, so I'm not going to pull up my phone. I can't think of anything that has all the legions around here. No, sorry, I can't think of anything. There's no iPads around here either. Most, if not all, covered or claimed by somebody. And good look at Valhalla. Yeah, thank you. Wargranite, Steve. There's one thing I really hate about your battle reports. The duration is less than 24/7. Please fix that ASAP. 24. If you just heard me talking for 24/7 playing battle reports, it's barely coherent as it is. I get all sleepy and tired. I'll be just like, this guy's over here, dudes. It'd be terrible. Pimps. Steve, what's up with the slow grow campaign? I don't know. You tell me what's up with that thing. I can't win a game. I don't know what's going on there now. Right now, Dave's out filming a short film, and he's been very focused on that, and not a lot of time left for much else. So if we readdress it or come back to it in the future, we might. I'm not sure. We didn't officially stop doing it, but we haven't really done it. Yeah, I don't have the answer for you. Sorry, dude. We got really, really busy. Asmodes, Steve, keep up the great Age of Sigmar games. They have been awesome. Any chance you do a small tournament style of many 1,000 armies in a similar way as the Who'd Win series? Yeah, that was fun. The Who'd Win I did with Cullen was a lot of fun. Just stupid, corny jokes. I wonder if there'd be much interest in watching a tier or tournament style series. Something I can look into, because it wouldn't be that hard to organize that in a battle report way. I just think that I don't know for sure, but I think most of the viewers prefer more of a casual. I don't know. I'll look into it. Because that does interest me. That's more the style I like to play. A little more competitive. Yeah, that's something I definitely look into. Miso, Steve. A lot of ease. What do you enjoy most about working at MiniWarGaming? The paycheck. I like getting paid and not actually working. No, it's I'm in an air-conditioned studio right now, and I'm talking about the games I play in the hobby that I love. There's not a bad thing about this whole deal. I come in here Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, sometimes Saturdays, and I play games all day, and that's it. And then they give me money. I got no reason to complain. It's awesome. Where did I leave off? Oh, there's more. Do you prefer the filmmaking or the gaming? What do you mean by the filmmaking? Because the filmmaking is my gaming, because I almost never play off camera. Just every time I start a game off camera, like, I'll just grab a camera, I'll start narrating this because somebody will want to watch it. So filmmaking, for me right now, it's the same thing. The filmmaking and the gaming, but I love painting and collecting and modeling. That's probably my favorite part. It is my favorite part. And do you want to try to make some more narrative film type stuff like Dave does? Yeah, I do. We did one last Christmas, the holiday special, which we did over Quirk, Cullen, Lee. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Yeah, there's those guys. We stayed one evening and just goofed around about possibly writing a short skit. And then we actually did it. And then the next day we just filmed it. And we called Josh, because Josh wasn't working here at the time. Had him come in and do his quick little thing as he walked in the back alley of Beardo. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I like doing those a lot. CSD and Steve, do you think that you and Josh can get Quirk into playing more fantasy? Maybe have Quirk play Luca and learn Undead. That way, when Quirk loses you could say, and that's how the Quirky crumbles. My dad. I say no to that, sir. Prime Minister says, Steve, would you and Josh ever be interested in a 2v2 or even pull Cullen and do a 3v3? Yeah. Josh and I have done a couple 2v2s for 40K. And I've done 3-on-3s or 1-on-1 versus one, like multiplayer Triumph Treachery games numerous times. But I think on my time here, I've played against 2 opponents in 40K a couple of times, and I've done 2v2 with both my Josh and myself against 2 other opponents, and then I've done it with Quirk and myself against 2 other opponents, and both times it's a lot of fun. But it wouldn't be feasible or even entertaining to do it all the time, but yeah, I'll throw one in sooner or later in the future. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I like doing them. Kazadar, the Spy Master. Steve, who is your favorite coworker to play against? Also, do you ever plan on showing off the cheese that is Triple Alliance of Space Elves? I saw someone play it, and my goodness, it was silly. Yeah, the Triple Space Elves, adding in some Tau for some Wall of Mirrors. Too good, and not fun for anyone. Favorite coworker to play against? Let's go over the list. I'll start from the very top here. So I play Matthew. He stresses me out until I almost have a heart attack. So that's a lot of fun, but I almost die every time. Dave, almost as much. So we got the other guys here. Cork and I very rarely play against each other, actually. Have you ever played each other? Oh yeah, Cork and I have played each other so rarely that it's hard to. I have nothing. I have no jokes for it, actually. Yeah, I had nothing to even say funny. So yeah, if I played a couple games with Quirk, so I can't say who's not my favorite, then I guess I haven't played enough games with him. I've even played even less against Chris, but he's fun because it's easy to get. It's as easy for me to get under his skin as everybody else is to get under mine, which is pretty good. Lee, same thing. It's easy to get under his skin, so it's fun. So that leaves Josh and Cullen. And Josh and I, well, we're good friends, right? So it's always fun because they're just insulting each other the whole time, picking on each other. That's why when you see us playing, there's a lot of giggling off camera. When the camera goes on, we're still giggling, we're trying to hide it or whatever. Yeah, so it's always fun playing with Josh and Cullen because I do just as much with him. Yeah, so Josh and Cullen, I play with them the most, so that I guess would be the most fun. Not that I'm picking favorites over anybody else, but it'd be one of those guys. Don't tell anybody. Clicking Man, Steve, if you were a supervillain, what would be some of your evil plans? Also, can you sing a little more for me? I need a new ringtone. No, I can't sing for you. I won't be singing. If I was a supervillain, I don't know if I'd be a villain per se, but I think I would be a fantastic world ruler. I don't believe in dictatorship, but I feel that I could do it well. I feel I could make decisions for the greater good, for the better of everyone. I don't think the plans would be evil necessarily. And one day I will run for president of the world, and I'll need you guys to vote for me. I think it's just too early to make plans right now. I don't want to push it yet. But one day, fingers crossed, guys. The Welsh Bloke. Hi, Steve. Would you consider a Warzone Apothis-style campaign for Warhammer Fantasy? Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be fun. There was little, if any, story with it out there. Wait. There was little, if any, story with it, but there was consequences based on the outcome of the games. Yeah, so the story kind of got washed away with how over busy it got. We had to do so many games. People kept we booked so many people that we just kind of got overwhelmed. So the story kind of got. Matthew had some ideas. We talked. He showed us the plan, timeline. Certain things were going to happen after so many attacks on a certain planet. We never got to do because there just wasn't time to do them. But yeah, the fact that you could pick what you attacked and where you went and go for manufactorums or the cities and all that kind of stuff, it was great. And I loved it probably as much as I think you did too, sir. You do it on a smaller scale as well, possibly merging it with Mordheim, games for missions. If you want to, you can pick up free regiments around skirmish game, I played that a lot. It's actually a lot of fun. Supplement for Warhammer Fantasies, rather than messing with the Mordheim content. I actually would do all three. Just a thought. Keep up the good work. I'm a monkey's uncle. Yes, sir, you are a monkey's uncle. So I called Welsh Bloke a monkey's uncle on the rules you got wrong. Good guy though. There's no ill will there, I don't think. He said, "Call my monkey's uncle if that charge was wrong or something," and whatever. But yeah, no. Would I do it? I would and I wouldn't, to be honest with you, because the amount of work Matthew puts into the campaigns is way more than any of you possibly could even imagine. Like there's a lot goes into it behind the scenes to write, to schedule, have Lee paint everything up. Now the painting everything up thing wouldn't be an issue for the fantasy version of it, but would require a lot of my time. That would mean I would have to film a whole lot less. So for me to do it, there would be sacrifices made. So I'd have to cut out 40K for the short term. I'd have to hand off Age of Sigmar for the short term. But I'd have to cut out more than I think I'd get out of it doing it. Right now, this wouldn't be possible. I think that's it. That's all I'm going to answer for now here on YouTube. I'm going to go in the vault right now and finish off. There's some. I got about 2 pages left total here. So if you're not already vault member, click the link below and get yourself a 7-day free trial to watch me sit here for another, I'm going to guess, 15 to 20 more minutes of answering more of these comments and questions. Thanks for watching, and happy wargaming.